making it here. Now, right. So good to have. So our audience is on YouTube, all right, and they're going to be asking their questions from there. So the audience can start asking their questions anyway. But maybe we could just get a brief introduction of yourself. All right. So let's start off with your name, which year you're studying in, what program you're pursuing at NID, and a little bit about the campus that you are at. All right. So if we can start off with Ahona, who's from NID Vijayawada. Go ahead, Ahona.
So, hi guys, I'm Ahona. Right now I'm at home, but I'm studying in NID Vijayawada, and I'm in my third year. So that's my sixth semester, which I'll be finishing in a few weeks. And I'm doing industrial design. I forgot to mention industrial design. So in NID Vijayawada, we have three disciplines: industrial design, communication design, and textile and apparel. So those are the broader categories, and I'm in industrial design. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Nidhi, if you could take it from there.
Yes, so hi everyone, I'm Nidhi and I'm studying in NID Kurukshetra. I just finished my third year, so my jury was on Friday, and yeah, I came back home. I'm at home now, and I'll be entering my fourth year in 2 months. So right now I'm interning, and I'm in the industrial design department. So as Ahona mentioned, Kurukshetra also has the three disciplines of communication design, industrial design, and textile and apparel. So I'm in the industrial design department.
All right. Thanks for that, Nidhi. Right. Over to Rachit. Rachit, could you tell us a little bit about you and NID Bhopal?
Yes. Hi, I'm Rachit here. I'm from NID Bhopal. I'm an industrial designer as well, like the other two. And right now I'm in my fourth year, that's eighth semester. And I'm away from campus doing my graduation project, which will end in July. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. And Pragya and Prerna, if you all could talk about yourselves.
Hi, I'm Pragya. So I'm at NID Ahmedabad. I'm pursuing graphic design here. I'm in my second year, so right now fourth semester. I'll be entering my third year in 2 months.
I'm Prerna. I'm in film and video communication. I'm also finishing my second year. So.
All right. Did you say film? Yeah. All right. Awesome. Cool. So the audience can start asking their questions. All right. But Bhavya's there. Yeah, Bhavya. So please give us a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Bhavya. I'm in NID Jorhat, which is placed in Assam, for those of you who don't know. I'm pursuing textile and apparel design. We have three main heads here as well. So it's industrial design, communication design, and textile and apparel.
All right. And nice to see you attending from your campus. I mean, the outside of your campus. It looks very interesting. Anyone out here? Maybe Bhavya, if you can probably show us the campus, what we can see behind you. It would be interesting to see that, and if you can take us around, just show us what you can, what
I can do that. I mean, I'll just take you around. I'm not near the acad block right now, but I can go there. So we have a fairly natural setting around here. Towards there. I'm going to have to walk you through the grass. So we have two main blocks here. There's the workshop block, which is mainly for all of your a lot of industrial design workshops. You have your wood workshop, metal workshops, clay workshops. So there's ceramic and stuff going on there. Then you have textile related workshops, which would be pattern making, garment construction, and the rest of it. And they're placed all in one building. And on the opposite end, you have the foundation students are kept separately from the rest of the disciplines. That is how we have. Yeah, so that's how it looks.
All right, very interesting. So what's your campus like? I mean, you said it's a like, what's the setting like when it comes to your campus? I think we've lost. Yeah. So what's the setting like? The surroundings.
It's mostly just green out here. It rains for a good chunk of the semester, and it's also rather hot in the summers, but a lot of green, well-kept campus. And I'd say the buildings are well maintained, the resources are plentiful to the extent of, I mean, whatever we need, it's out there. A lot of this around and also outside. There are limitations of the location, of course, because we're kind of remote, but then things do come and reach here. It doesn't take as much effort as you might think. And the faculty is also decent to great. Yeah, I mean, there's limitations because there's fewer faculty here, because there's fewer people, but all of the faculty here are very resourceful and they know a lot and they have a lot of experience.
All right, all right, all right. So cool. If there's, we have a few questions coming in, and this is for NID Vijayawada. All right. So probably Avona, if you can talk. There's a question from Jyoti Das who's asking if the campus building is operational or are they still in the transit campus?
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. We are still in the transit campus. The new campus is still building. I think there was some issues in between and they have started the construction again. So the last information we got is towards the end of this year is what they're planning to move, but we're not sure. But right now we are still functioning fully from the transit campus and we are happy there. So it's because the new campus is a bit further away from, all the setup that we have so far. So everyone's a little hesitant to move right now. So we're very good where we are and the campus shift will happen when it happens.
All right. All right. Madhura, great to have you here. All right. So Madhura Sudhakar is from NID Ahmedabad. So whenever you can switch your camera on, please do. And we'll let you introduce yourself, Madhura. So Madhura was in the middle of some jury before coming here. And yeah, so once you switch your camera on, let us know and we'll moderate you in. Right? Okay. Few more questions have been coming in. Right. So everyone mentioned three streams, industrial design, communication design, and apparel design. One person mentioned graphic design. Is this part of the other three or separate? So I think this question is for Prerna.
Yeah, so in Ahmedabad, we don't have three branches, we have 8 disciplines. So you can broadly categorize them into industrial design and visual communication. So under visual communication, you'll have graphic design, film and video, animation, and exhibition design. And under industrial, there is textile, product, furniture and interior, and ceramic and glass. Yeah.
All right.
So like the other campuses, here we get one specific discipline. So yeah.
All right. All right. So Madhura, good evening and thank you for joining in. You're on mute. You may have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry for being late. And hello, good evening.
All right. Right. So Madhura, thanks for taking the time to come out here and meet with the next batch of students. But we'd like to know a little bit about you. If you can tell us your name, which branch you're studying in, what specialization, and which year you're studying in.
Okay, so I'm Madhura Arade. I'm from Nagpur, Maharashtra. I took the online classes for DQ, and currently I'm in first year. That is the foundation. So there's basically no specialization.
I'm sorry, Madhura, to interrupt. Your line is not very clear. Is there a way you could probably use a headset or something? Or yeah,
That speaks lower, I think.
yeah.
So
Just
basically, I am in the foundation batch of NID Ahmedabad, so I don't have a discipline yet. I am studying things in general, and then I get to choose disciplines from second year. So I'm in first year right now.
all right, all right.
And Pragya and Prerna are my seniors.
Sorry.
Pragya and Prerna are my seniors.
All right. Cool. So there's a question. So I'm just going into the questions. Lakshita is asking, do they have diploma courses in NIDs? No, Lakshita, all of them are degree courses. All of them are BDes degree courses. All right. Narayan Shankar is asking, is saying, awesome to meet you guys. What was the one thing that you felt helped you get into NID? The one thing that helped. Maybe if y'all can talk about that. Madhura, maybe you can start off with that.
To get into NID was, see, what I personally believe is it's a lot of hard work, but with the hard work, I think it's like a lucky draw. Design exams are lucky draw, so please do not dishearten yourself if you do not get in. But if you do get in, it's a good opportunity. It's a very because NID exams are difficult, but if you totally understand what NID demands from you, then it is not difficult at all.
All right, thank you, thank you. Rachit, if you can tell us.
Yeah, I think I'm the only fourth year student here in NID right now. And I think I was the last batch who had an offline entrance exam, after which COVID happened and then the juniors had a lot of it online, if I'm not wrong. And for our batch especially, we didn't really have anything in our mind that our paper is gonna be in a particular way. There is no set given key they can have this section or in this round this can be expected. So expecting the unexpected is something that you have to be prepared for, and that's what our batch did as a whole. Key we could be thrown with anything, and that is something that we have to look out for. So I think that would be one thing that I would tell the juniors as well. Ki don't be stuck. Ki sketching is going to be there or the written exam is going to be there. The max you can do is prepare yourself for everything, but don't be taken aback if something that you have prepared for is not there.
All right, thanks. So I'm just going to go on with this because the primary focus here is about each campus. So there's a question from GoGo24 who's asking the campuses other than Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad, everyone's familiar with. They're asking about the other campuses. Are the opportunities in terms of placements, internships, and events, are they possibly equal or different? Maybe we could start off with Nidhi, who can tell us a little bit about Kurukshetra. Maybe you can tell us about the kind of placements or internship opportunities and the events that are there on campus. Maybe that would give us some idea.
All right, sure. So Kurukshetra is a fairly new campus. So and we're also sort of in the outskirts of the city. So in terms of being connected with other design studios, we have to travel a little far. So we'll have to go all the way to Chandigarh, which is around an hour away, or people even go to Delhi, which is around 3 to 4 hours away. So the distance is an issue. However, personally, I have interned online. I've taken up online work, remote opportunities. So that's one of the ways I've found to sort of bridge that gap. In terms of placements, we do have a placement cell. It's run by one of our faculties, and there are students from each discipline, so they're in charge of finding opportunities through LinkedIn or through other connections that they have, and they keep circulating it. Our alumni also really help us with opportunities. So we have a large group. The advantages of an NID is that the community is really small. So in that one WhatsApp group, you can constantly see competitions being put up, and our seniors keep sending us opportunities. Sometimes our seniors give us opportunities. They say, I'm working at this company and they're looking for interns, and is anyone interested? They can send a message. So while I would say our placement cell is still in its formative stage, it's still really helpful. We are still able to find good opportunities. There are people finding opportunities with the IITs, with the IISCs, and one of my seniors is also working for Masaba Gupta. So I'd say, yeah, it's all up to us. We need to, we may have to find opportunities on our own, but the campus is always there to back you up and help you out.
Fantastic. So that's it's great to have that support system in place. Rachit, if you can tell us a little bit about the support system for placements, internships, and the activities that happen on campus.
So it's similar to what Nidhi mentioned about Kurukshetra. Even we have one faculty member who's a part of the placement cell, and we have individual student representatives from each individual department as well. So it works in a similar way where students also try to reach out to companies and forward around the whatever opportunities are found. But I think faculties have a lot of connections, In fact, our placement cell is relatively new, considering we are the first batch that will be graduating this year end itself. So our faculties, apart from the placement cell, have been something who have helped us reach out for our GPs, and they have used their personal connections and sources. So faculty support is something that is constantly there here. Our director personally reaches out to a lot of companies, even though placement cell was not running at that point. So I think that is something from where we have been getting our support for GPs and internship until now. But with the placement cell being formulated, I'm sure it's going to be fast forwarded and boosted even more now.
All right. As a fourth year, final year student, have you started working on your placements and all that? So
I'm sure the other campuses have their placement drives before the 6-month internships and GPs, but in our college it was a little late because the college wanted our GPs to get over so that we have a lot of concrete proof when we enter the industry that our students can do a lot of work as well. So that's why our placement drives are happening in the second half of this year as soon as our GPs are over. So.
all right. Cool. So Ahona, if you can give us a little bit about Vijayawada.
So yeah, adding on to what Nidhi and Rachit said, even most of all the new 4 NIDs have a very similar structure. They're kind of doing the same thing in terms of placement cell, the formal one. But the thing is, again, like what Nidhi was saying, most of our opportunities come through our personal networking with, say, seniors. And what I think college, or the best thing college does for us, is equips us with enough to go and approach companies confidently on our own and get the internships we want. We get the skills we need to make a proper portfolio. We have proper projects to put in, and the last step is just going and approaching them and just telling them what you want, or writing a mail, or getting in touch. So that's just the little step you need to do. But through most of our courseworks, we get proper tangible outcomes which you can use in your portfolio. You have skills you develop which you can showcase in your portfolio and your CVs and things like that. In Vijayawada, we have a festival. It happens once in 2 years, called Chitrakatha, which is it's spearheaded by the director. And during that, we have a lot of people coming in, and that's a good place to network and get in touch with a lot of people from India, from abroad, in very different fields. And we have a lot of external faculties coming in as well as guest lecturers. So if you're good at making connections, you find someone doing something you really like, you can approach them at any point and they'll be happy to guide you into going into that direction.
All right, that's great. Bhavya, thank you for that, Ahona. Yeah, Bhavya, if you can give us a little insight into Jorhat.
Yes, sure. So the thing is, again, like everyone else has said already, this campus is really, really fresh. You mind if I switch off my camera for a bit? The internet's a little bit unstable.
That's fine. You can.
Yeah. So as the rest of them said, the campuses are fairly new, and for us as well, just like Rachit said, the first batch will be graduating this year. And the GPs are yet to be, completed and finished. And we have a placement cell that's been on and off running from since like 2 years ago. They've set it up, and then they've been trying to set up connections with people. Most of the connections do happen through the NID network itself, because most of the faculty are these very senior NID members who have other relationships with other startups, other faculty, and similar people within the design community itself. That's how most people end up getting internships. You're also free and open to interning wherever you'd like. You can send in emails, and there will be recommendations and support systems from within campus whenever you'd like. That said, there is the limitation of the fact that the campus is new, but from the first batch of internships that we've seen so far, people have gotten very successful internships, 3 months to 5 months long, and they've all been in very large community, like companies and studios as well.
All right. Cool. I think we've covered all the NIDs. Right, there's a question here about NID Ahmedabad. All right. Could you guys show a little bit of the Ahmedabad campus? Maybe if you can turn your cameras around, is that possible? Yeah.
So we're in the studio space currently. So, I mean, as you can see that looking around us here. So this is the graphic design studio. So there are, I mean, yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough.
I think you can ask Madhura to show the foundation studio.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Madhura,
this is the foundation studio. It's divided into 4 sections. So there is like one classroom, and there are like 4 classrooms basically. That is one classroom over there. This is one big classroom here. That is one classroom over there, and one classroom over there. 4 classrooms. And guys, say hi. And this is like you put the soundboards here, so it's like a private space for people to work as well. So yeah, we do our own thing. We make our own spaces.
okay. Very interesting. Okay. So in the interest of time, there are a few questions here which are a little straightforward, like which all NIDs have product design courses. You can get that information off the NID website, but we'd like this opportunity to utilize this opportunity to really get a feel of the campus, or feel of from each of these students about their experience. So Kush, Yogesh, you asked, what about automobile design? Is there a specific question you have on automobile design? That would be great. All right. Jaganti, yes, all campuses provide BDES. Shripana is asking, could you give a brief for the academics under animation and filmmaking? Are there a lot of projects done? All right. So maybe Pragya and Prerna, if you all could answer this. Could you give a brief on the academics under animation and filmmaking?
Animation and film is a discipline on its own, and film and video is a discipline on its own. So it depends on which one they're asking about.
You could give both. You could give your opinion of both. Yeah.
So animation is very drawing heavy, and they start with traditional mediums of drawing, where you're asked to do illustrative work, you're asked to do 2D animation. They kind of the first year at least of animation, it's just mostly your
Physical hand drawing.
your fundamentals of drawing and animation and all of that.
Yeah.
When it comes to filmmaking, we go into making projects using. So we get like camera and editing and direction, sound. So they're vastly different, but it depends again on what they're asking about.
All right. All right. So do you all get a lot of projects, opportunities for projects?
Projects as in the kind of the kind of work we do is assignment based. During the semester, we kind of get projects for each course, and then at the end of the semester, we have one final project. That's
So
to
from
be done.
fourth semester, every discipline has a design project. So they're not live projects, but you do get to get a feel of how it's like to work on a project on your own. So like when you start with the fourth semester, it's a 6-week project, and then in the third year, it's an 8-week project, and then your last design project is a 10-week project. And then your graduation project is usually, it depends if you do it self-sponsored or sponsored. So if it's sponsored, then you actually get to do a live project with a company or a studio outside. But if you're doing a self-sponsored project, then you do get to make an independent, if it's a film or a graphic novel, whatever discipline you're in, that depends. Yeah.
All right. The question from Venki Venkatraman, who's asking, are you allowed to participate in campus placements across all NIDs, right? And maybe Rachit would be more apt to handle this.
I do not think we are allowed to do that. That is something that is not allowed. Considering each campus has their own set of connections and each campus has their own set of rules and regulations according to who can sit for their placements. It's usually merit based by the end of 4 years. Ki whoever does better by the end of 4 years and your CGPA calculations, that's how you get an opportunity to sit first and then so forth, so on, so forth. So no, the answer is no, you cannot sit across campus for your placement.
All right. So I'm guessing this is the same response by everybody else, right? Okay. Thumbs up for that. Right. Okay. Right. So Ashwika is saying, okay, I'm questions regarding preparation, I'm going to take a little later. All right. Does the college help and guide students with respect to internships? This is a question from Yamini, right? So the general opinion we got from everybody just now is that they do help with internships. But if there's anything you'd like to add, anyone would like to add, please add at this stage. Okay, so yeah, so in general, the colleges do help with placements. They have placement cells, and that's what they've told us. So yeah, there is support from the school. Okay. Kush Yogesh is asking, does NID Ahmedabad have automobile design? Yes, but please go through the NID website to see what programs they have. That's the most accurate information you can get. How easy is it to get internships in tier 2 cities like Vijayawada, Bhopal, or Jorhat? So maybe Rachit, if you can elaborate on this. Was it easy? Was it difficult?
Right. So we don't look for internships in the same city to start out with. There are obviously very limited opportunities in these cities, but we tend to look for internships all across India. It does not matter which city it is or where it is. Like right now, I'm in Assam for my internship and doing my graduation project. So it does not really matter which city or campus is in. You can apply in whichever city you want to work in, and you'll get an internship opportunity there, be it Bangalore, be it Delhi, or anywhere else.
All right. All right. Ahona, would you have anything to add?
So I think during they are like within my batch, there have been people who have been doing internships during their while classes are going on. So like a part-time internship that they did remotely. But to be able to go and do a full internship is only when you get a certain period of time, like at least a 1 month or a 2 month break. And because we were the COVID batch, we did not get a lot of those breaks because we did 1 year of our entire college online, and then later we were in a catch up mode. So internships, you probably wouldn't look for the internship in that very city. There's not a lot of internships we do staying in campus and going and working. So if you're thinking of doing an internship in college, it's probably going to be remote anyway because you wouldn't have time to travel as much. But otherwise, if you can apply for internships anywhere during your break period, the college will not stop you for that. So just wanted to clarify.
All right. All right. Maybe Nidhi, if you have anything to add about Kurukshetra.
Pretty similar to what was said before. So in Kurukshetra, we don't really look for internship opportunities there. So I've come back home now and I'm interning in Bangalore, and people have gone to Delhi. There are lots of opportunities in Delhi, lots of design studios. People have gone to Hyderabad, Goa. It doesn't even have to be your home city. You'll get opportunities from all over the country. And some people wanted to intern in Mumbai, so they looked for internship opportunities there, even though that was not their home city. So you will find opportunities all over the country. The city or the town in which you're studying in won't be a limitation for that.
All right. Interesting. Bhavya, would you have anything to add to this? Bhavya, you're on mute.
No?
Yeah. You're still on mute. All right,
Can you hear me all
Bhavya.
right now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah, I'd like to say the same thing as everyone else, actually. It's the same system. You can apply wherever you like. There's no limitation as to which city where you'd like to go. You can even go abroad, in fact.
Okay, okay. Which brings me to the next point, actually. The people who are in Ahmedabad, so Pragya, Prerna, maybe if y'all could talk about your seniors or your batchmates, do y'all stay in Ahmedabad for internships, or do y'all also look for internships outside?
I mean, it's mostly remote or like all across the country. I don't know if anyone is specifically interning in Ahmedabad, maybe for their graduation projects. But during the second and third year, it's pretty hectic to manage internships along with the coursework. So the people who do internships, they do it remotely.
Okay, so that's great. I think this was a very, very interesting question because it appears that internships are not limited by geography, right? The aspirant shouldn't think here that, okay, if I go to say Mumbai, then or if I go to Ahmedabad, then I'm going to get placements there. But actually, they can do internships online. They could do it in any other city, or sit and go and do an internship. So anything works. Fantastic. Excuse me. Tanvin, good evening, and thank you for joining in.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. I had my project presentation going on, so I had to join a bit late. But
no worries.
yeah,
Totally understandable. But thanks, and good to see you here. So Tanvin, it would be nice if you could just introduce yourself. Which campus, what's your specialization, and which year you are in?
Yeah, I'm Tanvin Badireddy. I'm from Hyderabad. I'm studying at NID Assam, and I am in my third year doing industrial design. Yeah.
All right. And you're studying at NID. Which NID? Assam.
NID Assam, NID Jorhat. Yeah, they kind of changed their name to NID Assam. It's called NID Assam now. So yeah.
Okay, so as we go along, we'll be asking you a little more questions about NID Assam. And if you have some project work that you'd like to showcase, just keep that ready. That would be great for everyone to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to go quickly. Okay. Shriparna is asking, how's the NID campus in Bangalore? Shriparna, the Bangalore campus is the master's or the PG campus. It's an extension of the Ahmedabad campus in Bangalore. Yeah, the campus is beautiful, but it's a very small campus, but we don't have anyone from NID Bangalore here. So we'll take that question some other time. The question on the hostel in Vijayawada. How's the hostel facility in Vijayawada?
So college does not provide any hostel facilities as such. So the campus the remote campus is part of this other bigger university called ANU, Acharya Nagarjuna University, and it's on the highway that's between Vijayawada and Guntur. So there is a township just opposite, like just across the highway, and that's where all of us stay, all the students, all the faculties, all the visiting faculties, the director, everyone just stays there. It's quite big, it's a bit old. So how it works is within your batch, you get a few friends and you rent a flat. So when we went, our seniors had made groups of students and they'd allotted flats. And after that lease ended, we moved to a different flat. So it's pretty much a apartment kind of a situation. You have complete freedom. You can stay with whom you want, where you want, how you want. The college does not interfere. There is right now there is a mess facility that's run by independent lady, so you can subscribe to her meals, or you can have like a cook come over and cook for you. Some of us cook ourselves, so yeah, you have a lot of flexibility there.
All right, that's great. So in general, how many students are there per specialization, and do you have common courses as well, or do you have common electives? So per specialization, let's go one by one, starting with Ahona.
Right. So in Vijayawada, it's 25 for each discipline. So 25 for ID, 25 for CD, 25 for TAD. And the common courses that we have after you get split into your disciplines in second year is mostly the SLA or the theory-based courses. But right now, the system does not have a lot of intermingling in terms of specific course stuff, but you're always welcome to go and attend someone else's class. No one will stop you. You can learn from anyone, but it's not like you will have joint classes as much. That's something they're thinking of bringing into the system eventually, but right now there isn't much of cross-disciplinary business.
All right. In the other campuses, similar numbers, 20, 25, 30, or are there any other numbers, or is it similar to that? Yeah, all similar. Thumbs up for that. Yeah,
it's usually
it's lesser. It's lesser in
sorry.
Ahmedabad.
Okay, in Ahmedabad it's lesser. Go on.
Yes, 13 or 18, something like that. Like around this, nothing more than 20.
All right.
Seats have changed.
So in Ahmedabad, there are 8 disciplines. So out of that, 4 have like 18 to 20 students, and the other 4 have 13 to 15 students. It's like that.
Right. Tanvin, you were adding something.
Yeah. So here, at first, like I think for the first, we're still like the first 4 batches here. So the first 2 batches, there was like a 25 seat limit that was there. So like no matter the batch strength, you could still get into those 25 seats and you could still get into whatever discipline you wanted. But they kind of again changed it to like, so it depends on the batch strength, and they kind of divide the batch into like thirds. So they divided by 3, and then they kind of allot seats in that way. So they kind of updated it, their academic guidance in that way. So that's how it is at least over here.
All right. Cool. Right. So I'm skipping any questions related to preparation. We'll do another webinar on preparation. So we'll leave this about the campuses. Okay. Yeah. So Gyanesh has some questions. I'm going to take Gyanesh's questions because he had messaged me. With design schools coming up, are the NIDs able to retain their current teachers? So do you see a churn in teachers? Do you see attrition happening often, or is it kind of limited? Because there is attrition in all schools, right? In across schools there are attrition, but is it the same as NIDs, or or you'll have, pretty much faculty sticking there for time? Yeah, let's start off with maybe NID Ahmedabad, Pragya and Prerna. Or let me keep this question open to anybody who wants to answer this. Is there anyone who wants to answer?
So there has been a few changes, yes, in the faculty. I can talk for graphic design, but so there are a few in-house faculty who have been here for a long time. But we do have a lot of visiting faculty coming in who do go to other design colleges, other NIDs, or even schools like MIT, and yeah.
Yeah, since we're like a relatively a newer campus, so like our discipline leads and most of them are all, there's like a set group of faculty that are already there. But I think there's like every year there's like a lot of, so there's a lot of importance given to a lot more Northeastern or a lot more from those areas and from those states as faculty members or as staff members over here. So it's like it gives a lot more opportunity to those like locals over here. And I think every year we do kind of see like 1 to new faculty coming along, and most of them are like always adding like a little new. It's like it's a nice refreshment to the already like going on lifestyle over here. Having like fresh minds come in and then talk to us about it, and then also sharing their own cultures from like especially these like very culturally rich states over here around the Northeast. So yeah, it's good to see all of them.
Okay. Right. Student teacher ratio. Any questions about do you all know the student teacher ratio, or have they told you, or do you have any idea? Does anyone have any idea of that or no?
Roughly 1:20 thing.
1:20. Okay.
For us, it's like for foundation batch, there are 4 classes and approximately 35 students in each class, and we have 2 to 3 faculties.
All right.
For each class.
Cool. Are teachers able to guide or mentor students across, or are the students left to figure out themselves? All right. So this is a this is another interesting question, because a lot of schools do things differently. One set of schools say, okay, let the we need to monitor what the students are doing, let them finish, feedback, XYZ, right? On the other hand, the faculty are a lot more free and say, no, we want you guys to explore, right? So what's the kind of environment? If anyone could take this, so which is the type of study at your school? Anyone, open to anyone?
I'll take this one. So at least how it was for us is in foundation, there's the maximum amount of handholding. The assignments are designed as such that there is a very fixed outcome, and that's what they're looking for. So you might find yourself, you will have a lot more clarity as to what you're doing in foundation, but that might also be a little limiting. But as you, in second year and then subsequently in the third years, you get a lot more freedom and a lot less of that, fixed direction given to you. So that's for better or worse. You are free to explore, but sometimes, you explore too much and then you lose yourself. But I think for me, college has been more of a, journey of self-discovery. So you'll have to look at it that way. In how it works is we have courses, and that's like an intensive for 2 weeks. We do not have a subject system. I think that's true for all the NIDs. In case anyone didn't know that. So for 2 weeks, you will have one faculty who comes and takes the course, and after that course is done, they leave. So in that 2 weeks, you will have to understand how that faculty works, and that will change for every faculty in every course. In some course, even in third year, you might have a lot of hand holding, but again, in second year, you might have a course which is a lot more free, so you have to just play the ball as it comes.
Okay, so mixed bag. Depends on the faculty.
Adding to what Ahona said, in case of NID Bhopal and the campus that I'm in, I think it's more of progressive independence that's given. As Pragya and Prerna mentioned, that the duration of DPs, that's your design projects keep increasing, and that's how even your independence keep increasing. Like if it's a 4 week in your fourth semester, that's when they'll completely guide you and ask you to meet very regularly. But if you're in your sixth semester or your seventh semester, they wouldn't ask you to follow up that often with updates on your project. So it's progressive independence that's given to you, at least in the case of NID Bhopal.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So Ganesh, I hope you got your answers to that. Now, in terms of the digital design space, right? Digital design, immersive design. So AR, VR, 2D, 3D, AR, VR, XR, maybe UI, UX. Do you all have options to select electives on this? Do you have the options, or is this part of your course, or how does it work? Specifically, AR, VR, XR, UI, UX. Yeah. Can you, anyone, open to anyone? Yeah.
We had a course on new media, that was the term used. So it had AR, VR, and any form of extension. So it was a 2-week course that they introduced this year in our batch, and it's like an experiment. They they thought it was relevant. They brought it to us, and then they give you little key points you can take, and then if you're interested, you can take off from there. So in NID Vijayawada in 6th semester, we had a 2-week course on that.
Oh, interesting. Pragya and Prerna, it would be interesting to hear about your.
So in graphic design, we had an illustration course where we were introduced to AR a little bit, and during open elective. So we have an open elective at the starting of our 4th semester. So there you do get to explore like a lot of courses which are interdisciplinary, and I think there also we did have a one course in particular did have a VR component. So yeah.
All right. Nidhi, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, actually in Kurukshetra too, in the second year, in the fourth semester, we have an elective called Human-Computer Interaction. So that deals with a lot of speculative UI UX, and we got to learn about the AR VR space and what could be done. And in our 5th semester, we had a design project very heavily based on UI UX. We called it display and control, but we had to work with Figma and Adobe XD, make all the wireframes, make a working prototype, actually show it to our users. So the entire process was very similar to that followed in UI UX. But I'd also like to add, this is specific to industrial design. If you take up probably visual communication, you may not get to explore these modules. So the display and control project we have was only for industrial design, whereas the human computer interaction elective was common. All the different disciplines could take it. So if you're interested in this space, you may have to research on these disciplines and see if they'll give you an opportunity to take up those courses.
All right.
I'd like to add.
Sure, go on.
Like when I'll speak on the behalf of foundation, basically. So in the foundation, you're not expected to do any kind of digital work. Even if there are a lot of people here who know like amazing softwares and they can do amazing stuff with that. But in foundation, we focus more on traditional stuff, and that is what is more appreciated. But as we go into the courses from second year, we will be doing a lot of digital stuff, a lot of things involving computers. But that too, you don't have to be afraid at all if you don't know anything. Like personally, I was very scared because I have no experience with digital stuff or anything like that. But it's all taught. Everything will be taught.
Okay. All right. Next question, very important question that is here. Now, in the NIDs, do you get to select your specialization before you join, or in year one itself, or do you go through year one and then they give you the opportunity based on your performance, then you choose, then you get priority. So how does it work in your school? Go on.
So in Jorhat, at least in NID Assam, you definitely don't get to choose before you join. You go through foundation completely, you finish foundation, and that's when you get to select your disciplines. And discipline selection is also open based on merit. So depending on your performance in the first year, your options may or may not be limited or not. So if you are among the better scoring people, that means that you have the option to choose between all three disciplines that are available out here. And the lower your merit situation is, the fewer options you have. So towards the end, you might just be placed in wherever there is space. And there are more disciplines than other. Like communication design always gets filled up right at the top first of the list.
Okay, so is it the same as all the other locations? Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, it's the same. So that's the way it is at NIDs.
But the preference changes. So again, I think in our batch again, ID and CD filled up quite at the same time. But in our junior batch, for example, CD filled up faster. So it'll depend on your batch which discipline is the hot pick.
Okay. Okay. Right. So Yanesh, Vani Purohit, I hope you that answers your question. Okay, so curious question from Nitya V. Which is the most renowned course in each of your campuses? Let's do maybe Ahona. Is there a renowned course, or pretty much all the courses are in demand?
I think all of them are in demand. People choose a course based on which aligns with their personal, goals of the future. So it's very hard to say one is renowned. But because of the location, I think textile and apparel have, because we are close to Mangalgiri, and Mangalgiri has a very rich textile background. So textile and apparel get a lot of opportunities to interact with the local artisans there. And those are a few perks of being in the place. So in Vijayawada, maybe I would say they have, TAD has some kind of a, benefit, but then again, there's no reason to just choose that just because of that, right? So I wouldn't say any discipline has anything great. Like, you can't pick one discipline, it's just what you want.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Cool. Jyoti Das is asking particularly about NID Bhopal and the quality of faculty. So let's I mean, there's a question on the faculty. Okay, so I'm not going to get into specifics of which location, but in general, what's the kind of faculty that you'll have at your NIDs, right? Are there more academicians? Are there more industry people who have turned academicians? Are there more guest faculties? Are there more industrial, visiting faculty from industries? So could you just elaborate on the faculty experience at each NID? So starting with Vijayawada.
Right. So this again depends from faculty, course to course, and also years. So many of our faculties are external, so they're like a some sort of specialist and some industry professional or someone who has a lot of experience just in that discipline, who comes in as guest faculties or lecturers, and some courses are taken by in-house faculties. So in case those externals come, we tend to ask or prefer people with a industrial backing, because that gives us a lot more insight on how where the industry is at that time and how it is working. But we do get some really good academicians as well, but it again depends from course to course, time to time, because sometimes faculty might be available in my year, but for our juniors they're not available during that time, they're not able to commit. So you can't really say right now. But because of the NID, there's like this network. There are a lot of ex-NIDians who come in, who teach, and then they connect you with their network of people. So yeah, I think most of them are practitioners, but there are some academicians.
Okay. Would anyone else like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, most like any good faculty, like any of the faculties over here, they're mostly all coming from like really good prestigious colleges that people are looking for. All the IITs, like especially over here, you get people from IIT Guwahati, you get people from all like even people like from ex-NIDs and all of those people. I think it's like the minimum requirement that you kind of do find in the faculties or whatever visiting faculties and all that you get here, that they're all like they passed out and they graduated from like really good schools, and yeah, that's all. It's good.
Okay. Right. So Reva, I hope you that answers your question as well. Okay. There's another interesting question. So say you don't get the subject that you want. Say you wanted to join for communication design, and that has been taken, right? Now, what do you do for the next 3 years? Do you pursue something else? Do you drop out? What happens to those who don't get a subject of their choice?
You do get placed in other subjects. Now you can either choose to continue with that, or you can take a gap year and then decide to see if, I mean, the thing is, it's actually very chance based, because the next year there may or may not be seats within the discipline that you'd like to get into. So there is that limitation.
Okay. Right. So Shreya is asking, what's the difference between an NID and an IIT? I think it's very hard to talk about the difference between all of these students here are from NIDs. So they can give you an experience about NIDs. We'll have a session with our students from IITs, and who will be able to tell you the difference, or to tell you about their experiences as IITs, and you make the decision, right? So that would be the best way to go about it. Ipsita Mishra is asking, does NID have exchange programs? And if so, what are the requirements and processes that are followed to be fulfilled? Right? Open question.
Well, yeah. So in NID Vijayawada, we had one exchange before the COVID thing struck. So that was the first batch, the 2015 batch who went for it. And also one exchange that happened last year for the communication design batch. And the first one was to Germany and the second one was to Switzerland. But recently, NID Vijayawada also signed some MOUs with a few more colleges. So the chances of internships are there more in the future. Our batch is currently having a online exchange program. It's this program organized by this college in Germany, but it has people participating from different countries as well. So that's an online thing. We're doing that virtually, and it's for about 6 months. But going opportunities, again, it depends on that particular time. There's nothing you can do right now to prepare for it, or even unless it comes up, you won't really know what they're looking for. So it's all chance based and time based.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that.
So Ahmedabad, you do have exchange in the third year. So every discipline gets offers. I mean, again, it depends on which discipline you are and from what universities the offers are coming in. But yeah, there are a lot of opportunities for exchange in Ahmedabad.
Like all 8 disciplines get at least 2 to 3 exchange opportunities, and it happens for both semesters.
In the third year.
Okay. There's another question from Gogo24 is asking, how is the safety in campuses and also the hostel options? Are they convenient? So have you all heard of any safety issues, or is that not a problem? Anybody, has there been safety issues anywhere?
Within campus, there's no safety issues per se at all. It's
No safety
fairly
issues at all.
safe. Yeah.
All right.
Outside of campus, that depends on where you go, what you do.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
location is a little, you have to figure it out.
Yeah. I guess that's everywhere, right? Because anyway, even in a city like Bangalore, Delhi, or Bombay, safety issue is always an issue outside campus, but within the campus, as long as things are fine, you're good.
Ahmedabad campus is by far the safest campus I've ever seen. Like personally, it's super safe at any time, in the night or in the day. It's very safe.
Okay.
I think for in case of Vijayawada, because we do not have a in-campus hostel or a living situation, and we stay in a apartment where a lot of other people also stay. It's not just students, so you will have to be a bit mindful about the people around. Be respectful of their distance, and if you don't bother them, most of the time they don't bother you. But because again, it is a different place and everything, it's best to keep to yourselves and keep safe and not be too student like that. But the thing is, as you start living on your own, most of you will figure those things out again on your own, so it's fine.
Okay, cool. We've crossed 6 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap this up as quickly as possible. I know you guys are busy as well, so we'll just wrap this up. Quick question: have all internships been paid, or have you all done free internships as well?
For the case of NID Bhopal, at least, the internships the compulsory internship periods that are given by the college gives us a set of guidelines ki you have to be paid a minimum amount of stipend per month, and there are certain rules and regulations when it comes from NID Bhopal. So if you want to reach out to a company, college sends out those rules and regulations to that company, and they have to abide by those minimum amount of stipend that has to be given per month. If not, then you cannot work in that company. So for us, it has to be paid.
Okay, is that the same with other campuses as well? No. Okay. So
I'm not quite clear about those rules, but then while talking to one of the fourth years, they had mentioned that there was this rule regarding a minimum that is set. But then again, the minimum is kind of on a variable rate as of now because they haven't fully discussed or set it up clearly.
Okay.
I think for us, any form of restriction is only for the graduation project, which is your the project you do in your 8th semester. But any of the other internships you do during your other 3 years in college is completely up to you. The college does not have any guidelines for that.
Yeah, that goes for Bhopal as well. It's only for the compulsory college-based internships that you have to work in those 6 months for the GP or the 2 months in your third year. That's when these rules apply. Other than that, it doesn't.
Okay. There's a specific course, the question for Madhura. This is from Meda Nair, who's asking, what are all the courses you experience in your foundation year? And even before joining NID, where you decided on which course did you want to take up for your second year?
So we have a large variety of courses we study in foundation, and a lot of them are it depends. Some of them are skill based, like the first semester is mostly skill based, and how well your how good your sheets are, how neat they are, how well you present them and everything. But second semester is more about how well you ideate. It's more about creativity. It's more about how you're going out of the box, but obviously staying within the assignments. So that's about the courses, and the variety is very nice in the courses. So from semester 1 to semester 2, even if you have nothing as a mindset, even if you have no mindset like I want to take this course in general, the foundation course will help you decide by the end of it. Because when I came here, I wanted animation, but then after doing a few courses, then I wanted something else, then I wanted something else, and every week it kept changing, and then I realized I should not be thinking about this. When I focused more on the courses and looked at my strong points, I automatically realized what course would be best for me.
Okay. And which course do you intend to do for the next year?
For the next year, I'm probably thinking of doing exhibition design.
Okay, interesting.
Exhibition design is a perfect blend of industrial design and visual communication, and I seem to be interested in both of them equally.
Okay. Actually, that's good because there's a lot of students who are not sure whether they want, they can't really put themselves into buckets and say, I like this, I like that, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, right? So that's a good challenge. And what you have just said is amazing because it's good for other people who are in similar positions.
Yeah, so even if you're confused, that's all right. And even if you're very sure about what you want, then it's just work hard and get what you want. It's that simple.
There's a question here, and I know this is a very controversial question. Okay. Can you elaborate on the assignment deadlines and the pressure of it and how you deal with it? All right. Now I know that this is tremendous pressure when it comes to submissions
For foundation?
for all of y'all. No, this
For
is
all of
an
us.
open question, right? Maybe Rachit, if you can talk about this, from a little more detailed perspective, since you're in year 4.
Right. So I think the pressure of submissions and deadline was the most in foundation year. It was extreme. It was day to day and at a particular time. Ki 8 a.m. ko you have to submit your envelope of all the sheets in on your faculty's table. So it was hard and fast at that point of time. That was in foundation. But I think as and when you are moving forward, it's you don't have as many sheets and things like that. It's more practical submissions where you have to give presentations to faculties, where you'll have like internal jury sorts of things. So they will become your final presentation. So deadlines are obviously going to be there where faculties do mark a date of the end of the course and where we move to the next course itself. So I think deadlines are there, but over time you learn how to manage it because I'm sure in the first year you're going to have a lot of panic attacks and a lot of crying. You can't complete all the sheets, but by the end of 4 years, you're extremely immune to all of these things, and you learn how to manage it as well. Like it's something that you learn by yourself, and you teach yourself how to manage the time that you have and how much you can do. So you don't have to worry about that now, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because when we talk to the first year students, they all seem to be very pressured. But that's the
Yeah.
reason why I gave it to you, so that you would understand and you'd be able to put a lot more things in perspective by year 4. All right. Okay. Moving on to the next question. We heard that Vijayawada does not have a hostel. And people are familiar with the hostels in Ahmedabad, but the hostels in Kurukshetra, Bhopal, and Jorhat. If y'all could talk a little bit about this, starting from Rachit.
Right. So we have an in-campus hostel itself. So we have a boys' hostel and a girls' hostel, which is separated from the mess in the middle. So the hostel right now we have two options where we can take double occupancy or a single occupancy single room. So it's all safe. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, it's hostel, and we have to return back to hostel if we are not in the academic premises by 12 a.m. But if we are working in the academic area or any of that sorts, uh, by 4 a.m. at night you can return back if you're not in the if you're working in the academic premises. Apart from that, we have common room and stuff which is a part of our hostels, and common room includes a TV, and we have LANs in every room, etc. All of those basic facilities are there. So yeah, I mean, we have a warden and everything, the basic things. So that's the hostel life in Bhopal. It's a lot of fun and stuff.
All right. Kurukshetra, Nidhi.
Yeah, so same. We also have an in-campus hostel. It's right next to each other, so you can walk to and fro really easily. So while our campus closes pretty early, it closes by 6 o'clock. But the hostels, the curfew, there's no curfew. So if you want to stay out all night, you pretty much can. It's only that if you're leaving the campus premises, you have to get special permission so that they know that you're leaving the campus and they can have a record of when you're coming back. But within a campus, there's complete freedom. Of course, we have a boys and girls hostel, and it's separated by a mess. Again, we have a common room. We also have gyms. So that's right in between both the hostels. Those are the common spaces. But yeah, the girls hostel and boys hostel are strictly separate. You will not be allowed to you will be suspended if you go to the other hostel. But within the girls' hostel, you can go to any girls' room. You can stay there the entire night. You can. Some people, in fact, have shifted to another person's room if they want. Like, it's completely your wish. Right now, it's double occupancy. We don't have the option of single rooms. We had gotten that option last year thanks to the pandemic, but right now it's all double occupancy. If you have any specific issues, you can always request for a single occupancy. Otherwise, it's always shared. And as for the facilities, are pretty good. We call all the staff Didis, Bhaias. They're very close to us. They're very nice to us. They're all like family, and the mess food is pretty decent in Kurukshetra, especially compared to some of the other colleges that I've heard of. It's very decent. They customize your meals for you. If you don't eat onion and garlic, you can request for Jain meals. You can request for vegan meals. It's all there. So in terms of that, our hostel life is very comfortable, very decent.
Right. Okay. So we've got an idea of Bhopal. We've got an idea of Kurukshetra. Jorhat.
Well, campus and hostel both in general are very freeing spaces. There's no constrictions as to what you do whatsoever per se, as long as you're not causing any direct disturbances or difficulties. Nobody is going to stop you from doing essentially anything. We do have in times for both the campus as well as the hostel. So the campus in time is around 8 p.m. and honestly, it's fair given the location and the circumstances here. But then they're not very particular about it. I mean, if you walk in later, as long as you've informed them, it's fine as long as you're outside for however long. And people do tend to come back in early because not a lot of things are open out here. Then as for the hostels, we have an in time of around 10:30, 11ish. Again, it gets pushed to like 12, sort of somewhere there. And post that, again, you can't really go between hostels. The boys and girls hostels are separate. They're placed right next to each other. So if you need to meet someone, you can just come down and meet them. There is no limitation with who you meet, where you go, what you do, nothing. Yeah.
All right. Tanvin.
I'd like to add something interesting about Ahmedabad campus.
Sure.
There's no rule as if that you need to go back to the hostel. There are so many submissions I've done just sitting here in the studio. Like, I've seen 2 sunrises straight in a row because of the deadline of the submission. So even if you don't go back to your rooms, the Didis are very understanding. The guards are very caring and understanding. It's just you can sit here and work for hours. You can sit here and that's all.
Nice.
So you don't have to go back to your hostel if you have work, because they understand the pressure of the work.
Okay, that's great. Tanvin, if we could get an idea of the boys' hostel.
Yeah, it's good. It's great out here. Honestly, I was very speculative about like hostels in general, and especially in a place like this, I always considered of probably moving out in an apartment or anything. But I don't think I don't regret that decision. It's like, and since right now we have our like full 4 batches that are there, it's good. You spend a lot of good time in the hostel. You can do a lot of things. You're free to do a lot of things. The wardens are not too strict on you, at least in the boys' hostel. The guards and all, they're all quite friendly. They're all quite nice. The only reason for the in times and the curfew that we have around 8 p.m. is because the city, like especially in northeastern cities and this city, everything closes by 8. Everything shuts off by 8, especially when you're coming from like a metropolitan cities or any of those lifestyles where you see like where it gets really busier towards the night. People are more like it's very toned down over here. People are a lot more chiller and they're a lot more lazier in terms of like the community and the shops and that culture over here. So due to that, like since the entire city shuts down at 8, you kind of, and there's a bit of like also since it's like a military campus over here, and there's like a lot of those safety issues and hazards that you kind of get past a certain time. So it's not safe to be past a certain time in this area and locality due to certain restrictions and all of those things that keeps going on between the borders and stuff like that. But other than that, inside the campus, as long as you're inside, it's pretty good. It's amazing. It's great.
All right. Okay, I think this brings us to the end of the session. Okay, there's one last question I'm going to take. When are the hostels coming up in Vijayawada? Ahona, if you have any idea, this is a question for you.
So as far as I'm aware, the construction of the hostels are done and they're ready. It's just that there are a few other things that's needed to come up in the campus for us to make the full move, like the workspaces, the mess, and I'm not sure what the exact nitty-gritties are. But as soon as the campus and everything is ready, we'll move there. So that's how it is.
Okay, thanks for that. So I have seen a lot of questions here which have not addressed this. There are a lot of questions related to what subjects there are, how many seats are. So all those questions you can go onto the NID website and get those answers for yourself, right? There is another set of questions that I've not asked here deliberately. These are questions related to exam preparation, what you should do, what you should study, what resources that you should use. So all these, we've done a lot of webinars about these, but we're going to call these students back. Okay, all of them here. We're going to call them back and have a specific session on preparation, what they did to crack their exams and what you could do, right? And how it could help you. So these are the two sets of questions I have not addressed here. If I missed any question, I'm sorry about it. We've run completely out of time. We need to exit this. So thank you once again, Tanvin, Bhavya, Madhura, Rachit, Nidhi, Pragya, Prerna, and Ahona. It's been a pleasure having all of you back. It's so great to see you guys together. I'm going to end the live stream right now, and we hope to see you guys again. All right. Please hold on, don't exit. And but I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you all for attending this session so intently and having a lot of questions that you've had. Fantastic interaction today's webinar. If you like this webinar, please click on the like button and do share this webinar with your friends. Share the link with your friends so that anyone who's preparing or considering these NIDs can get an idea of what is there, right? Thank you so much. All the best to all of y'all who are as aspirants for the next year. Goodbye.